Employment legislation is very confusing in one particular area, I believe, for employers and for employees, and that is in relation to interpersonal complaints in the workforce. If somebody's working alongside a colleague who they believe is bullying them, is harassing them, or is generally unpleasant, and they don't really know how to deal with it. The legislation at the moment, we have the employment equality legislation, where somebody has to say, do I fit within, does my issue fit within the grounds in that legislation? If it does, I can bring my claim, which at the moment will be heard in the Equality Tribunal, and there's a very long wait for that to be dealt with. If it's not actually one of those grounds, but it may be bullying, I then need to look at the definitions of bullying in the safety, health and welfare legislation, look at a HSA code, look at an LRC code, and see, maybe was it the equality code, was it the code on harassment, or is it perhaps these bullying codes? Or is it something else? Is this with the sort of inappropriate behaviour that then isn't regulated? So I think our legislation does create a gap and a difficulty for employers and employees in terms of what is commonly referred to as dignity at work, or dignity and respect at work. Because bullying is not under bullying legislation. I'm not suggesting there should be a separate piece of legislation for bullying, but then harassment falls under equality legislation. You may have a personal injury stress claim that goes to the injuries board and is referred immediately from there, giving a certificate, allowing an employee to bring proceedings in the courts. So that's an area that I think is ripe for consideration of a more unified approach, that employees have one place to go and employers know that there's one place where they would end up and where they will need to deal with issues, because at the moment it's a difficult area. They may also of course end up in an employment appeals tribunal with a constructive dismissal claim, whether it's harassment or bullying. So that's an area that I think could do